The following program deals with a controversial subject. The theories expressed are not the only possible interpretation. The viewer is invited to make a judgment based on all available information. Tonight on Sightings, a family is terrorized by a deadly poltergeist.
I raised my arm up, and there was bites all over, and they were like biting through me.
And an expert investigation brings them face to face with a frightening entity.
He's here. I'm trying to convince him to show himself.
Then, a UFO encounter leaves the witnesses scarred for life.
It's a composite of many UFO cases all rolled into one with very horrifying results.
And evidence may reveal government involvement. And did an ancient curse turn this Hawaiian paradise into hell on earth?
The people that had stayed there saw dead bodies floating in the ocean. They had terrible, terrible odors in their rooms.
We were told, don't scare away the tourists.
At that point, it started to appear.
They had large, dark eyes, claw-like hands.
I began sensing and knowing and feeling.
I do believe in life after death. I mean, I've been there.
We have not scratched the surface of what the mind can do.
It's a connection with the unknown.
Welcome to Sightings. I'm Tim White. For one family in the Midwest, owning their own business was a dream come true. But now that business has become a constant source of terror. The family, who wishes to remain anonymous, believes that they're plagued by a malicious poltergeist who's out to destroy their dream and them. It's an unlikely setting for this real-life horror story. America's heartland, where the promise of the American dream can still be realized. Clean air and water, safe neighborhoods, a place where you can still buy a house and start your own business. All the reasons why the King family came here to raise their children and why they want to stay. But staying means confronting an evil force that seems to have possessed the family.
One night I went to bed in the early a.m. and I woke up, and my daughter, who was not quite a year old, still in diapers. She wasn't even walking. She could stand. I woke up the next morning and I felt pressure on my jaw real hard. And when I woke up and I looked up, my baby is standing straddling my neck and she's got a butcher knife shoved down my throat. Her eyes were open and she just kind of looked at me and she started screaming like I'd woke her up, but her eyes were open.
The bizarre, violent episodes began in 1987, just after the Kings purchased this home and motel. The safe haven they'd sought here turned into a waking nightmare.
We could hear pounding in the walls, screaming, we heard chanting, we heard singing. Objects started flying across the room.
I'd wake up with bruises where like somebody just beat me really bad, and bite marks.
I was looking toward the hallway, and it stepped out of the wall and stood there, what seemed to me like an eternity, and I just couldn't believe it. I was like...
When the Kings first came here and saw the home and the attached motel, it was love at first sight. But in retrospect, the Kings believed there were warning signs. The $60,000 asking price was reduced to $24,000 when the family made a serious offer. There were whisperings about a gruesome murder-suicide in the house. The former caretakers confirmed these suspicions.
There was a lady that lived here at one time that was supposed to have committed suicide. And the way I understand it, she was supposed to have been really mean to her father-in-law. He was an old man.
I never got any rest. Somebody was on my bed jumping continuously. My bed would move. They told me the house was haunted to start out with, but I just didn't stay around because, you know, hey, something bothered you, get away from it.
After the Kings moved in, encounters with the unknown force intensified. A mysterious stain appeared above the fireplace. The spot was sandblasted, but the stain came back. Fresh paint and new wallpaper immediately peeled off the walls, and spontaneous fires kept erupting near the attic.
We thought somehow somebody was getting into the house, had keys or something, and for whatever reason was setting fires, trying to burn us out or something. And we set the children down and talked to them. We said, lock everything up. If you see any strange people or cars, come tell us. Well, I took my daughter to the bathroom, and she looked up at me, these real serious eyes, and said, Mommy, she said, Daddy didn't start the first fire, and she said, the ghosts are setting the house on fire. And she meant it. I mean, you look at her eyes and just say, she meant what she was saying.
The haunting has taken its toll on 6-year-old Ashley. It's hard for her to talk about her experiences, even with her own father.
Maybe I can get you to talk a little bit about what went on in the house or something? Well, let me ask you. Don't be afraid about it.
In desperation, the Kings consulted a parapsychologist specializing in poltergeists.
They were having poltergeist-like activity in the house, which to me meant that things of a shadowy nature were taking place. I also felt that the children were in danger, or could be in danger. I recommended strongly that they not be brought back into the house until the place was cleared.
But with their life savings in the house, the Kings were trapped. After Dr. Moscow's visit, Doretta began to have terrifying visions of a grisly murder. Was she seeing the ghostly images of a deadly crime?
First time that this happened, I had put my daughter, who at the time was like 1.5 years old, she was a baby. had her in the tub, and she was standing here, and I was sitting on the side of the tub, and I felt that jolt. It felt just like somebody was running a movie projector on a wall. It was vivid color. I started seeing, what you call the images or whatever, of a man, and the man was sitting on the side of the tub fighting with the woman, and he killed her. And I mean, that's like I felt her. She released, and it was over. And then, you know, the little girl, he hit her the first time with the shovel, and sorry. Because I felt the emotion. She knew he was hurting her, and she screamed, "Mommy," and Mommy was already sliding down, and he hit the little girl, and the first time she hit the wall, so he hit her again, and then her little head, blood just started, you know, kind of splattered on all through her little hair, and then he drug him over there.
It got to the point and bad enough where me and Stephen would even stay awake at night and just make sure we didn't feel anything or see anything happening to Doretta, because she seemed to be at one point getting the most attention, I guess, if you want to put it that way. She was being almost like violated.
And then it moved away from me onto the children, and they were actually being bitten. Ashley got the worst of that. She would scream and say, "Make them stop." And one time I jumped on top of her, and I was really mad, and I told him to bite me. And I could feel her skin underneath me. I could feel it like it was depressing, and I raised my arm up, and there was bites all over. And they were like biting through me, and they weren't biting me, but they were biting her. And that was horrible, because I couldn't stop them from hurting them.
Desperate to rid their lives of this terror, they turned to world-renowned parapsychologist Dr. William Roll for answers.
This particular home is located in a triangle of high-tension wires, leaving open the possibility that the occurrences may be related to that situation. A home like this is a kind of hatchery for ghosts, you might say, because of the electromagnetic fields.
We accompanied Dr. Roll during his investigation. 3 prominent psychics were brought in to try and identify the source of the disturbing poltergeist activity.
I feel there was a murder here. Possible that there could be a body under this house, or bodies, too. I don't feel it's necessary to dig them up. I feel that these people can be released simply through understanding.
The investigation proceeded. Finally, at 4:17 a.m., a breakthrough. The presence of an entity was strongly felt. Although our cameras couldn't pick up an image, Doretta felt she had made contact.
He's here. I'm trying to convince him to show himself.
Any idea where he might do that?
He's standing right here. You gotta work with him. I mean, this is the first time he's ever even attempted to be nice.
It's building. Right there.
Where?
Can
you touch where it is?
The wood.
Even one of our skeptical crew members felt the presence.
I feel it, and I see right there. Yes, right here.
We're just giving we're negotiating here.
My hair is standing on end.
Come on, man.
So strange. It's dissipated after all the activity of the evening.
Okay.
Calmed down. There it was.
families who live in a home like this may experience, because of the place they're at in their lives, may experience events that have happened in the past in this house, in a house like this. There seems to be something that we call place memories. It's not only brains and minds that hold memories, but places also hold memories.
We raised the children that monsters weren't real and there wasn't ghosts and boogeymen. And we raised them to be really secure in that. And when this happened, and when it all came about, suddenly our belief system and what we taught our children was turned upside down and shook. And they looked at us, and it was that look of, you know, we trusted you.
Despite the work of the parapsychologists, the Kings were finally forced out by the entity. They wanted a safer home for their children, but finances have made it impossible for them to abandon the home they own. They've had to move back, and no one can predict what awaits them now.
Coming up next, a UFO encounter leaves the witnesses scarred for life.
It's a composite of many UFO cases all rolled into one with very horrifying results.
In recent years, there's been a marked increase in the number of people who claim to have had contact with alien beings. Some of them tell disturbing stories of abuse and claim to have real physical scars from the close encounters they found terrifying. When it comes to UFO encounters, Hollywood has had a field day. The movies have portrayed aliens as comical spacemen or as benevolent creatures. But the movies we love to laugh at have nothing to do with reality. Reality is a woman named Vicki Landrum.
I'd go to the grocery store and people would make fun of me. I'd try to go to church and the pastor asked me not to come.
Vicki Landrum has struggled to convince the government and the public that contact with extraterrestrials has left her scarred and riddled with disease.
Well, it's not just a light in the sky or somebody thinks they saw something. A real serious case, you know they've seen something. It changes people's lives. They're never the same afterwards if they've had a close encounter or if they've been injured.
Houston, 1980. They were driving on a deserted road. Betty Cash, Vicki Landrum, and her 7-year-old grandson, Colby. They claim to have had a UFO encounter that left more than memories burned in the minds of these 3 victims.
I kept screaming for Betty to get back in the car. So finally she come to get back in the car, and when she caught a hold of that handle, it burned her ring into her finger. That car was that hot.
They all had stomach aches, they all had diarrhea, they all vomited, they were all burned, they all developed sores later. They all lost some hair. Mrs. Cash, most of her hair, Mrs. Landrum less, and the boy even less. But in each case, something happened that is typical of radiation exposure.
My eyes were burned so till they swelled till I couldn't hardly see. I couldn't see how to read or watch TV or do nothing. And every time I'd get out in the sun, it'd be big blisters, and I had sores all over my arms. After this happened to me, well, I couldn't work. I didn't have no friends to talk to. So it just made me like a hermit.
The Cash Landrum case, as I call it, to me is a very significant case because we have a situation where we had a very large flying machine that came over the road that actually left marks on the road, so you know where it was exactly. It left burns on the trees. It left burns on the people. It changed their physiology. It's a composite of many UFO cases all rolled into one with very horrifying results.
While campaigning for the presidency in 1976, Jimmy Carter claimed he had seen a UFO. Carter vowed to make all government materials on UFO sightings available to the public. 20 years earlier, Andy Florio, a big band musician, had an encounter with a UFO in Arizona and experienced burns similar to Vicki Landrum's. Now, he wants the government to make good on Jimmy Carter's promise.
Jimmy Carter made a commitment to the American people that he would release all UFO secrecy to the American people if he became president, which he did not do. As a citizen and so forth, and as a victim of a UFO, I'm madder than hell. That's all there is to it. My elbows burned me 37 years, man. It's going to burn me the rest of my life. I know it. It's burning me now.
There are many secrets in this world kept by various governments and various peoples. In this particular case, if someone would just say what happened, whether it was extraterrestrial or it was a military experiment or whatever, we would all rest easier in knowing that it's something that's known.
Although the government claims no responsibility, an Army colonel was sent to investigate Vicki Landrum's claims.
He questioned me and I answered him, and then he told me that people had died for listening what I was trying to do.
Some investigators suggest that the colonel's subtle threat was linked to helicopters Vicki saw surrounding the UFO.
The helicopters came from different directions. There were groups of them that came in waves. One group came from the southwest, one came in from the east, and they all converged on the same area. Several of the helicopters flew around this object like they were trying to hem it in.
The government wanted to experiment on something, and they taken the lives of people to do it.
Our system is not set up to explain the unexplainable. People all over this country are mysteriously injured, even killed every year. Vicki Landrum believes some of them may have met with deadly alien forces. Because she is seriously ill, Vicki won't be silenced. She speaks out in the hope that others will not suffer her terrible fate.
Coming up next, was this Hawaiian paradise cursed?
We were told, don't scare away the tourists.
Or was it just local superstition?
The people that had stayed there saw dead bodies floating in the ocean. They had terrible, terrible odors in their rooms.
In virtually every culture, burial grounds are considered sacred. Some are said to carry a curse for those who dare violate them. Perhaps it was such a curse that struck the Seven Seas Hotel, a hotel built on sacred ground in Hawaii. The native peoples of Hawaii respect the awesome power and beauty of nature because they believe that the same forces that created their island paradise can also destroy them. They believe the forces of nature are ruled by the gods. Break their laws, and the gods will retaliate. Hawaiians believe ground that is sacred to the gods must be respected. For that reason, according to local beliefs, the Seven Seas Hotel should never have been built.
Native Hawaiian people have a great deal of respect for what Westerners might consider superstitions.
When Hurricane Iwa destroyed the Seven Seas Hotel in 1982, many Hawaiians believed that it was an act of vengeance by angry gods. During construction of the hotel, an ancient Hawaiian burial site was unearthed. Some natives believed the site would be cursed unless it was blessed by a holy man, a kahuna. But developers dismissed the practice as superstition, and construction continued.
In Hawaii, there are just certain things that you have to do. When you build something, you have to have the land blessed, and according to all details, this was not blessed. If you're excavating, you uncover bones. They have to be disposed of properly, and apparently they were not disposed of properly here, so they were asking for trouble.
Once the hotel opened, the gods seemed to make their presence known.
The people that had stayed there saw dead bodies floating in the ocean. They had terrible, terrible odors in their rooms. They had birds attack them in the dining room. A lot of the local people that had originally started to work there experienced many, many eerie things, and a lot of them quit working.
Me, I worked one night. I was night shift, okay? Then I was cutting my vegetables. Then I don't know from where that thing came, rainbow color, spinning like that against the icebox. So I started confident. I took that knife and I started cutting the shadow. I said, don't you ever bother me because I don't bother you.
Julie Coe was 14 when she and her mother moved into the hotel in 1977. They stayed for 6 months in room 13.
My mom would work late at night, and so I'd be home by myself doing my homework and what all. And they'd just play games with me all night long. The only way I got rid of them, an old local woman told me, she said, they hate swearing. She said they absolutely hate swearing. And one night I had just had it. I couldn't sleep, I couldn't read. They were just making too much racket. They were making me very uncomfortable, and I got up on my bed and screamed every 4-letter word I could think of in every combination I could think of. And by gosh, if they didn't settle down and leave me alone for the night.
You'd hear it like every other night, the knives hitting in the wall, toilets flushing, people walking on the carpet. After a while, you just get used to it. We were told, don't scare away the tourists. You know, if they hear spooky noises, don't tell spooky stories. You know, make an excuse for the toilets, anything.
Seven Seas was a nice hotel. Not fabulous, but a nice view. So people came, but they didn't expect the spooks at night.
The hotel was plagued by disturbing events. Then, finally, Hurricane Iwa roared in and destroyed the Seven Seas Hotel. Was it simply the force of nature at work? Or was it a deliberate retaliation by spiritual forces who were angered by the desecration of an ancient burial site? Locals believe Hurricane Iwa was the revenge of the gods. On the very same site where the Seven Seas Hotel was destroyed, a new condominium complex has been built. But before construction started this time, the land was blessed by a kahuna. Since the blessing, there have been no further incidents. Thanks for joining us. For Sightings, I'm Tim White. Good night.
Tomorrow, after a full hour of cops, a flash flood traps a man underwater in his car. Be there as a team of rescuers risk their own lives to save him. Then, see incredible footage of a heroic fireman attempting to catch a baby girl as she falls from a 3rd-story balcony on an all-new Code 3 tomorrow. And Sunday, on Married with Children, Bud Bundy has not one woman, but 2. Could this be the end of civilization as we know it? Married with Children, Sunday after In Living Color and Rachel Gunn. Now, stay tuned for Hidden Video.